Hey everybody, and welcome to the Doctors of Running virtual roundtable, where we discuss the art and science to the things that we're putting on our feet. Today on the docket is the Reebok Panthea. But before we jump into that, Matt and David, what's been going on with your day today? How you guys doing?
Much. Just I'm finishing up last week of classes for another semester in the PhD program. Had another interesting week in the clinic where people are coming back, still making sure everything's safe, right? All the precautions, everything, starting to see more patient population. So it's good.
You're doing some telehealth?
Yeah, what?
You doing telehealth too?
A lot of telehealth too. That's slowly starting to peter off as more people are starting to come in. So not as much now.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we're all doctors of physical therapy, so we're all treating patients. But yeah, what about you, David? What's been going on for you today?
You know, for the most part, normal day in the office. I work 10-hour days, and I've got about a 45, 50-minute commute. So I leave at like 6 something in the morning, about 6:05, and then I get home just about now. So
Nice.
kind of another day in the office, but it's Friday. I decided to treat myself, and so I stopped by Starbucks on the way home, got myself a caramel frappuccino, and I got myself some Orville Redenbacher because I'm getting my popcorn ready.
Oh yeah,
for the roundtable.
Free too, which is good. Hopefully.
Nice. But yeah.
Sweet.
Cool.
Nathan, what about you? How was your week?
Yeah, it was good. Today, Fridays are sweet. We close at noon on Fridays, so I got half days every Friday, and then we kind of treat Fridays as a rest fun day for our family. We got 2 little kids, so we do movie nights on Fridays. We watch Ratatouille today.
Nice.
We got a 2-year-old.
Classic.
8 months now. And then for Mother's Day, we were putting together like a little stone for my mom from her youngest grandson. So I just got done painting that. So
that's awesome.
Also, fun fact for all of our viewers: Nathan is the dad of the group.
He is.
So any cute artsy projects, that's going to be that guy.
Yeah, and my job is also to keep this PG rated if I can. But hey, since this first virtual roundtable, one of the things that we hope that we bring to this is just authenticity. So this will be pretty, I would say, unrefined. It'll just be pretty raw. We're hoping you get our real thoughts, mistakes, corrections. Good. So hopefully it's helpful for everybody and also a little bit of fun. But let's jump into the Panthea. Who has some specs on this thing?
All right. So if you look inside of the shoe, it actually tells you. So it's got an 8mm drop, designed for everyday training. 8 ounces, I believe, size men's 9.
Yep. And then women's.
What's that?
7.2 for women's.
I think so. Yeah.
7.2.
I think you're right. Sorry, ladies. We'll get you. Don't worry.
And what do we got? The midsole compound is their Floatride foam.
Floatride foam, right? So it's a PEBA-based foam combined with some what appears to be EVA on the top sole as well. So hopefully just give it a little more stability up top. But yeah, it's a combination of 2 foams. They don't list that, right? They just list the Floatride foam, but there is an EVA-based foam there as well.
Yep. And then upper is kind of this layered mesh, kind of upper that we'll get into later. Yeah. But here, let's just start with kind of what were your favorite things about this shoe? What did you guys like?
I really liked that. This is one of the few. I know we say the shoes are like a do-it-all shoe, but this is one of the few where I was like, this really hit it on the mark. Where at 8 ounces, it's light enough to be able to do super well in workouts. But there's plenty of soft cushioning underfoot. There's a decent amount of midsole here where you can still take this on easy runs, long runs. And I've done pretty much every workout I can think of these, and they've done well. It's not the lightest shoe, but it can really do a lot of different things. I could see this working super well with somebody's lightweight trainer, somebody else's marathon shoe, somebody else's racing flat. It's pretty versatile in that way. And again, I know we use that term a lot, but this one really hits the mark on that.
Yeah.
Definitely. To piggyback off of that, I think the key word that I would use is versatility. Definitely, it's lightweight enough to get the wheels turning, but there's still enough structure on it for daily training as well.
Definitely.
And I think one thing that kind of plays into the versatility as well is just terrain. Like the outsole is full contact, and you've got almost like little mini lugs almost. and it's not exactly like great for trailer dirt, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, like
When
single
running-
track or like salt, like fairly like neutral or mild trail, definitely solid on.
Yeah. So I just liked that, and the foam's responsive. It's got a little bit of rigidity thanks to that topsole, and it's just, I got down to like 520 pace, and I was fine. And like, I also ran as high as like 750 pace, and I was fine. So it's like, you could do everything.
Also, on a side note, for those who don't know some of the characteristics of us, I'm affectionately known as the destroyer among the group, is my ability to wear through shoes faster than anybody alive. And somehow, be able to wear through the outsole. Somehow, I've barely put a dent in this after like 60, 70 miles. And I think, David, you actually have more wear on yours than I do. So
yeah, that is
kudos
beyond belief to me.
Because I'm impressed.
Reebok nailing their durability and grip of their outsoles just in general, like the run fast outsole.
Yeah, did the same thing. It was good. It was solid.
Yeah, even the Floatride Energy. But for me, I'm with you guys, but I think the other thing that I actually really loved about it, maybe you guys have other thoughts on it, but I loved the shoe actually. I think it was unique. It has the side of it, if you feel on the inside through the toe box, it almost feels like a thin layer of foam padding, which made it feel like it's hugging the foot, securing it down, but it was also flexible. And then this outer mesh layer is really breathable. So it had this weird combination of like hugging your foot down, but it was really accommodating. So when I would take these out for speed work, they would lock the foot down well. But when I would take it out, like I did the Yeti 30-hour challenge and I did my last leg in these. So it was super tired feet. They were definitely swollen, and the shoe accommodated really well. So I really liked the upper. And obviously, I mean, Floatride midsole, their PEBAX foam, I love it. It's so smooth. They have just enough of a bevel, but I think we'll talk about that more later. But the toe off and a little bit of toe spring is really good too. I love the shape of the shoe, really smooth.
Yeah, for those who look at this, it might look narrow, and when you put it on, it's going to feel snug. The upper does stretch to your foot. Yeah. It feels secure when you go in there, and it can be a little. I thought it was a little narrow at first, and then it adapts pretty well to your foot. So don't be turned off by your first impressions of that.
What do you guys think for the other side of things? Where room for improvement, things you didn't like?
Stability. I'm also the stability guy of the group, and like the forefoot was pretty good, right? It's got a pretty solid base here, but that midfoot, especially in a little bit of the heel, and the softer foam was just a little. I was able to do it, right? It kind of wears me down after a little bit, and part of that's continuing to work on like hip strength and stability, but I wish it was just a little more stable.
I agree with you with the narrowness of the midsole. Ooh, that's my dirty one. Let's show you my clean one. Woohoo! I agree with you there. I do think if you're comparing this to like the Floatride Energy, I think this is actually a lot more stable.
It is.
You have the same width, but you have the topsole that adds some rigidity. So if you're thinking about, is it stable enough for me, and you've ran in the Floatride Energy, I would say this one runs more stable than that one. You guys could disagree, but I think the topsole adds some of that rigidity, and they're both relatively. But
I forgot that the Floatride Energy is just the full Floatride foam. There's none of that.
It's the Floatride Energy foam.
Yeah.
Those they're like TP polyurethane.
Yeah,
I think.
that's right.
But
David, what about you?
I agree. I remember you mentioning a while back that like the midfoot wasn't the most stable coming through, and I could kind of see that. Really giving the reinforcements just that little bit of topsole in there. And then even the foam kind of extends out only just slightly, so you kind of abrase it and collapse onto it a little bit. But again, it's a neutral shoe, so if you're already relatively efficient for the most part, like it shouldn't really be a problem.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of medial. Not to interrupt you, Nathan. Sorry. There's a little bit of medial sole flare at the heel, so that might do a little bit for any kind of like additional stability. But that midfoot just goes. Yeah.
So, I gotcha. Yeah.
Probably my complaint.
I think
go for it.
The two things I didn't like about the shoe, the first one is super whatever. This pull tab is useless for me. I think they gotta just make it a real pull tab.
It's fashionable.
It's just this little. It does look nice. It just didn't do too much functionality wise, but that's not a big deal. I'd say the other thing that I just in general with how Reebok's been putting up stuff is they have this heel flare on the back, and what that does, Matt, you can speak to this too, just with some of the research out on our muscles kind of prepare for our foot to hit the ground. When you have a heel flare like this, you get early contact, so your muscles aren't contracting at the time appropriate. It's a little bit delayed, and even microseconds can make a difference in things. So I wonder what the stability would even feel like if you're not having early contact and you're having better loading.
That also probably contributes to that, because I could definitely feel the posterior. And thanks for reminding me on that. Definitely, as a heel striker, right? I can hit that pretty hard, and so I definitely feel that. It's not the worst, right? There's at least a little bubble, but it's definitely something that can improve to smooth out the ride. Just all you got to do is move just a little farther forward. It's going to take some weight off, and honestly, that will help with the stability, keeping you in like the sagittal plane of motion rather than going. Puts a lot of stress on a bunch of different muscles anywhere from the research looking at the anterior tibialis to like the patellofemoral joint and knee joint. English. I agree with you.
Yeah. So what would you guys say if you had to compare this to another shoe out on the market? Actually, can I go first on this one?
Yeah, please
go for it.
Can I compare this to another shoe? I think before I even do that, I would say that I just love this shoe. I think my shoe of the year last year was the Floatride Energy, and I would choose this over it any day for me. So this one, I loved it. But if I was comparing it to another shoe on the market, I would actually probably go with the Skechers Go Run 7 Plus that we tested recently. Kind of a similar soft, except it's a little bit lower profile. Like it has more cushion than the Go Run 7 Plus, but it's still a little bit lower profile, has kind of that versatility trainer to it. But I would say this is faster and more stable than the 7 Plus for me, just with the podular outsole that one has. So I would say that some of that, the cushioning and the level of cushion that it has, I would say is most similar.
I both agree and disagree, because I think you're right on like the ride, the cushion, the weight. It is interesting because to me the 7 Plus felt, even though it's listed like, what was the weight on that?
I don't even remember.
Like a racing flat than it actually.
I think it was like high 7s, I want to say.
Yeah, which is interesting because it feels more like a racing flat than a lightweight trainer. Where I had a lot of trouble taking that shoe out for longer runs and it like moderate length runs, but was better doing like workouts and stuff like that. But agree on the stability component, but I agree that this definitely took the improvement in terms of stability and stuff like that.
Yeah. Any other?
David, you go. What do you?
I just think that mine's the destroyer. I took the Go Run 7 Plus on a 20-mile run. I was fine.
I was not.
But and I'm all sidetracked because I got offended by that. But
mileage may vary. I forget who says that we'll have to quote later, so they don't get mad at us.
No, but in all seriousness, though, I think the Go Run 7 Plus is pretty close. I remember when I put this on my feet, I was like, this is like a baby between like the Skechers Go Run Ride 8 and the Go Run 7 Plus and or the 361 Pacer ST. Kind of like that performance trainer meets daily trainer, like a little hybrid there.
This one just does really well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay different. I'm gonna say we haven't reviewed this on the website yet, but this actually reminds me a little bit of the Saucony Kinvara. Actually, where Kinvara's a little lighter. Doesn't quite feel like it, but it's still that like lightweight trainer, very versatile shoe that could easily be like a long distance racer and a daily trainer at the same time. So the Kinvara is probably what I would compare this to most closely, which I haven't run in the 11 yet. You're losing a photo back there?
Things are falling apart.
I have a ghost apparently. Did I hit that? I didn't.
Probably just a California earthquake, man.
I don't know. So moving on here, the next we're gonna have a segment.
Wait, it's live.
All right. Every single time where it's if this shoe were a blank, what would it be? And this time, David gets to bring the question: if this shoe were a blank, what would it be? What is that blank? What are we answering today?
All right. Today I'm gonna go with a big media personality.
So if this shoe were a big media personality, what would it be? Well, Klein's out on this one, I think. I don't think
I don't watch TV.
He doesn't watch TV.
I'll make something up. Go.
All right, I'll go first. I would say that this would be Emma Stone, but Emma Stone when she was performing on Jimmy Fallon lip sync battle. If you haven't watched it, you should look it up on YouTube because she kills it. So she has this kind of, I think dress is kind of like futuristic almost, and I feel like the looks of this shoe is a little futuristic, but also she just crushes the performance. And I think that this kind of, she sings All I Do Is Win. And this shoe, we talked about the versatility. She does like All I Do Is Win. She did some song, like some 90s song. She kind of hit this like gamut of songs during her lip sync battle. So she was versatile and she had this like futuristic looks. And so that's my choice.
All right.
That's a tough one to
really
top.
good. I'm following that up, David. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, jeez.
That's awesome.
You know, when I first saw this shoe, I first put it on and ran in it, I thought it was beautiful and elegant, but it was fierce and ferocious and aggressive at the same time. And so I'm going to have to go with my boy Joe Exotic from Tiger King. I mean, it looks like a tiger. It's just like a tiger. It's beautiful. It's elegant, but it'll also, you know, snap a neck if it has to. So
Joe Exotic, beautiful and elegant. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. The shoe apparently accidentally has workers killed by tigers. I'm trying to say. From what I understand, I haven't seen the show, but
yeah, there's a lot more, Klein, that is going on with Tiger King. It's crazy.
I literally can't follow this up. You said Emma Stone and then Tiger King. How am I gonna? I don't.
Just say Carol did it.
Pick a TV personality that you know. Anybody that you know. Just pick one.
I mean, my all-time favorite comedy hero is like Robin Williams, but I don't know. Like maybe it's flashy. It can do anything.
I mean, it could be a clown shoe, you know, like the
yeah.
whole...
I can get that. I don't know. I mean,
Robin is the man, though.
He is the man. Rest in peace.
He's the man.
Yeah, I don't know. Can I do a personality? Like, yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. Sorry, guys. Give me.
We're good. We're good. You're good. We'll get one next time. We'll do like violinists for you next time or something.
Yeah, do something like that.
Yeah. But so, do you guys have any other thoughts? Otherwise, I think we can wrap it up.
Just want to revisit the posterior heel flare and flare in general. We address this on the website frequently. We have a section as Thoughts as a DPT where we try to bring a little bit more of the research and biomechanics behind what these shoes can do in terms of how they influence your body. Just a reminder that there is no such thing as a shoe that prevents injuries, right? We don't have enough evidence to suggest that. There are certainly some companies that have made some claims. We may talk about that research later, not today. But, you know, sole flare is one of those things you can use to improve stability if it's done medially or laterally. Like anything, it can be positive or negative. So sole flare, you know, medially will tend to resist a little bit of motion very gently going in. Sole flare laterally will do the same thing. The only challenge with when you have sole flare out a little farther here is that when people land at the forefoot or heel, the same thing happens with the posterior heel flare. You can have a little early initial contact. So, you know, some people are more sensitive to this than others. I used to be very sensitive, but I seem to have adapted. The posterior heel flare, I feel like is just a no-no. Like, don't do that. Because other than like, if you're walking and trying to resist like somebody's leaning backwards, which does in certain patient populations, right, that do tend to fall backwards, that's a great thing to have. But we're talking about runners. So I think for the most part, as a running shoe, just don't do that.
Or bevel enough.
Yeah, like just like it looks cool. I get it, and I love that this shoe is awesome, but like I'm going to cut this. I'm going to slice this down, which people do all the time and it works. But yeah, the posterior heel flare, like, come on guys, don't do that. Like the rest of the shoe is awesome, but you know,
the rest of the shoe is awesome.
Yeah. Forefoot strikers, midfoot strikers, like if you're still focusing on your foot strike, should be fine. People who land further back just know that might take a little bit of time to get used to. And if my normal self goes through, I'll probably wear through it in time. So, you know.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Well, there are our thoughts on the art and science of putting the Reebok Panthea on our feet. Make sure to subscribe to this channel below. Check out our website at doctorsofrunning.com. We've got tons of reviews out there and research reports on all things running. And we look forward to meeting together with you next time.